Welcome back everyone. Today is our final session for the snake and we are just going to wrap things up with a few details. So for today's lesson, I am going to need and use these two fine brushes. I've got my number 2 fine liner and my double zero fine liner. I also brought out my famous titanium white ink. I've been really motoring on with the titanium paint, but we're going to add some lost stars into the nebula, and I thought we started with it, let's finish with the titanium white. I've got my kneaded eraser and I'll explain now why we need that. And the colors we'll need for this final session is Paynes Grey, Magenta and titanium white. That is what we are going to be using to wrap up our painting. Now before we do our final mark work here, I'm just going to use my kneaded eraser to just go over my canvas and remove any chalk lines that is still remaining. You could also use just a damp brush with clean water. But I thought, let me just get this first little bit of rub here with my kneaded eraser. And just look at maybe anything that is on the surface here that I don't want there. It will pick up any graphite marks and so forth. I did play with a bit of pencil on here earlier when we started this journey. This is so exciting. So I want you guys to make it, just save the date. I plan to go live this Sunday evening on my YouTube channel. I will provide links in this video, because I know the only people that is currently live or current watching with me is you guys, my patrons that are paying. You get immediate access to everything I do, everything in the background and so forth. I just shared a few episodes early in the start of this painting journey with the public, but I think from episode 5 or so onwards, it was all just for my patrons. Thank you, patrons, for your support, for your kindness, for your love, for your encouragement, and for your presence in my life. I'm so grateful for you, and I just send lots of love, lots of light, and lots of hugs. I'm just going to scrub this chalk line. It's still annoying me a bit. I just want to get this off and out of the way. So I'm just using a clean brush there just to scrub that out a little bit. If any marks on your canvas are still remaining that you don't like, you can always just use your black gesso again, just to cover anything that you want to cover. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this beautiful journey that we've had together with the snake. And I must say, since diving into the snake medicine, I think I started in December last year already, and just preparing myself and opening myself up to the wisdom and insight and transformation, personal growth, realizations that the snake would bring. And I know the whole year is still ahead and there's probably plenty of growth still to happen. That's what this whole year is about. But I must say this was quite an enlightening journey. So when you come to this stage of your painting, I really would love for you to just summarize, maybe for me in a comment below this video, what you've realized, what you've gained, what aha moments you had during this process, and How did this process help you, not only in your art, but also in your life? Maybe one of the deep questions that I posed help you to reflect and realize some truth about your life and your habits and your choices and where you are standing and where you are headed. And I really hope that this snake medicine has brought you some insight that will help you to grow and to live the life of your dreams. Absolutely fantastic. Now, I do have 3 more questions that I want to share with you guys, and I'm going to share it on Sunday evening during the live. It's really 3 very, very deep and slap awake questions. When I came across these 3 questions, I was like, wow, this is really profound. And really what it deals with is our mental state is the place where we create our reality. The mind is where we connect with the divine, in that sense that we are literally, I believe, a dream of the divine. And through everything that is connected and inside of the divine, there's nothing outside of the divine. We realize the same for us. And our biggest creation facility and ability that we have is not necessarily with brush and paint. It is your imagination. It is the thought, that first spark of an idea that says, let's try this, or let's do that, or I want to experience this. That all starts inside of the mind. And the mind is an eternal consciousness. The mind is an eternal place. When we use that creative energy, that catalyst, that spark within our imagination, when creativity sparks the idea, that is so profound, because in that instant, an enormous miracle has already taken place inside your mind. It became possible. And the minute it's possible in your mind, to bring it down into 3D matter might seem like a very complicated task, but in the end it really isn't. It's all about maintaining that image in your mind, that idea that sparked so much joy and energy moving forward. And hopefully you've now begun to see the connection between the canvas and your life, and how an idea begins up here and then flows forth through your body, and you start to make it manifest. I mean, literally 17 episodes ago, we painted this canvas black and we started from scratch. Now, 17 steps later, we have made manifest a snake, a space nebula, a medicine bottle, an array of amethyst crystals, all on this canvas that didn't exist there before. And I was merely just a guide for you on your journey. So think about that, and we will explore this idea a little bit further on Sunday evening when I go live on YouTube at 8 o'clock Central African time. So save the date. I will also obviously share this with you guys. If you can't attend at that time live with me, I will always post it into our Patreon and share it with everyone afterwards. But it would be lovely to have your energy there. So let's get into what we're going to do today. Today, there's a few final details that I want to pay attention to. And one of them is a little bit more shadow work. So I'm just going to use my brush here to show you on the reference material. Behind these crystals here, we need to deepen the shadow. That will help to push these crystals forward a little bit. And over here, we have a cast shadow that is falling over these amethyst crystals. So we need to bring some of that shadow in there. That's, I think, about it. And then we're going to put in the tongue. And because the tongue is hanging over, it really doesn't have much of a shadow because it's not against the skin there. So I think that's sort of the last shadows that we'll need, but we'll deal with the tongue at the very, very end. That's going to be the last element we're going to put in, and I did want to bring back a few stars. So I think let's start with some of the stars. So that's going to give it some time to dry. So I'm going to get back into my titanium white acrylic ink. Now again, if you don't have the acrylic ink, you can just use titanium white paint that you dilute with some water. And I've got my little palette paper here. And because we're making such small little adjustments, I don't see the need of using my wet palette because I'm not going to be dispensing that much paint. So I'm just going to dip the toe of my triple or double zero. It's not a triple zero, it's a double zero fine liner. I don't know why my brain wants to connect with a triple today. So let's look at where do we see some bright stars in the nebula. This is definitely one of them. And it's just going to create a little bit of depth again in our nebula painting. See a bright star here. And really, you can just play with this. You don't have to be a Minolta copy machine at all. I think Minolta must start to pay me some royalties because I keep mentioning them. I really don't own a Minolta machine. There's absolutely no payout out of this. I just want to reiterate to everyone that we are creative beings and we are created in the image of our Creator, and we are learning and remembering our beautiful creative ability because it's inherent in us. We are born with it. It is part of us. We can never be separated from our creativity because it is so divine. It is part of us. Me and this line work sometimes, I tell you. This is me showing you the real tea. I'm not hiding anything from you guys. If I struggle with something, I struggle with it, and I show you guys how I struggle with it. And the reason for that is I don't want anyone ever to think that they can't do it. Anyone can do this. You just have to find your way of doing it and persist with that. I think that is so beautiful. I'm going to add a few more, especially in this finer areas. That's become a very bright star. That's okay. But I do think that's enough. So let's do that. I'm quite happy with that. Right. Let's rinse that. I'm going to close my titanium white. I'm happy with a few extra starbursts that I've added. Now, have you guys looked at any of the Hubble and what the other one is called? I can't remember now. I'll put the name here. All of the telescopes that's currently hanging in space outside planet Earth, looking at the universe. I love to look at those photographs and to see some of those brilliant stars and how bright they are in the universe is absolutely astonishing. It's like looking into a jewelry box. It's absolutely beautiful. The universe is really divine, and it's really such a miracle that we call life. Right, so let's look at these shadows. So I'm going to use a little bit of my Paynes Grey. We don't need a lot today. It's really minute amounts, it's final details. So let me bring my palette over. I'm going to just activate my brush and bring in a bit of water again, like we did with the shadows before, so we are more familiar with this process. So I'm just going to roll that off my brush, and we're going to look at these little zones behind these crystals. And again, it gives you an opportunity to just soften things a little bit. I'm going to take some of the paint off my brush just to gently blend that in. And I'm just so grateful for translucent colors. It really makes life a lot easier when it comes to shadow work in your paintings. Isn't it amazing how it pushes the crystals forward simply because there's a shadow behind it now? So let's go to the left side. And here we've got a little bit of cast shadow that is falling onto these crystals. So it's basically mirroring the shape of the snake. So it's slightly rounded. And again, you can also do this in a few layers. You don't have to be concerned if you make it too translucent. Always add another layer. That feels good. It's amazing when that shadow comes over that highlight a little bit, how it pushes that back, and at the same time it brings the snake forward as well. Here we go. And I'm just going to cover that top bit there a little bit with a shadow. Yes. I'm just going to use my Paynes Grey here to just tidy up any sort of lines that I feel needs to be refined a little bit. To make that one a little bit smaller. That's feeling good, very good. It's good, it's good, it's nice. Right. Okay, let's rinse. This is going to go very quick. Let's dispense our magenta and our titanium white. It's always interesting. I'm so hot here today again. And then I'm thinking of everywhere else in the world that's covered in snow. My friends in the States are talking about heavy snow. In Japan there was heavy snow this February. We don't know snow, so it's quite different. Okay, Before we paint this in, again, let's use our trusted little chalk. And we're just going to draw in this tongue. I just want to see how far it goes down. So that's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, it's right about here. I mean, it's your snake. You can make the tongue as long as you want it to. But I won't make it too long. Oh, sometimes. Okay, let's load our brush with some magenta, and I'm still using my number 2 here. And let's paint in this pink tongue very mindfully. There we go. I'm going to rinse that off. Now I'm going to switch to my 00. Finally got it right. And I'm just going to dilute some of my white. You can also use your white acrylic ink if you want to. But seeing that I dispensed the white paint now, let's go for it. So we've got a little bit of a highlight on the right hand side. Not all the way from the top, but about a few millimeters down. Like that. And also a little bit brighter on the other side, just to give it some definition. Awesome. Okay, now let's mix this little bit of white that's on the brush with a bit of pink, so we're creating a lighter tint of magenta. Great. And I'm just going to go in next to that highlight. And just work it into the shape here, giving it a bit of a glow. Isn't it amazing how this tongue now brings completion to this image of the snake? I'm just going to touch with clean magenta at the top, giving some dimensionality and form. Let's rinse, and then there's a final little shadow. That we have just as this little piece crosses over a little bit. And maybe a little bit on the left hand side, just to deepen that a bit. Yes. You don't want to overwork it, but do what you need to do. I'm just using my magenta again just to define it a bit more. Here we go. Our snake is complete, people. I'm so happy. I mean, again, I reiterate, it was all about the process and not so much about the end product. Is everything perfect in this painting? No, it sure isn't. My right hand side is a little bit thinner than the left, and you can notice that when I turn this around. If I turn this around and you look at it from upside down, you will probably notice that this side is slightly wonky. And I'm showing it to you because I want you to look at your own painting and accept it for what it is. Remember, we're not painting the Mona Lisa. The whole idea of this painting was to have personal growth at the canvas and to learn some techniques. Did you learn something? I hope you did. I sure did. And I recognize the growth that I've made in my art through practicing with my creative practice. So I'm not going to redo this entire painting and fix everything that I think needs to be fixed, because that was not the point of this exercise. The whole point of this exercise was to meet the snake face to face and to familiarize ourselves with this amazing creature and animal, and to draw on the wisdom and insight that we can use in this year of the snake, to draw on its medicine, its wisdom, to shed our old creative skin. And that old creative skin might be limiting ideas like, I am not creative, I'm not artistic, I am not talented, I cannot paint. All of these nonsense that we tell ourselves simply because it gives us an escape route when we are in creative situations, because we've had creative trauma when we were young. We were compared to others, or you compared yourself to others, and you have decided at some stage of your journey that creativity was destined for your sister or your brother or somebody else, but not you. And in that instant, when you told yourself that limiting belief, it became your reality. Again, pointing back to your thoughts is the birth ground, the nebula where stars are formed, where whole new universes are created. And if you feed it with dark energy, with negativity, with hurdles, with problems, with difficulty, then that is what you will experience. I think there was a very wise saying of Einstein, and he boiled everything down to a very, very simple explanation, and it's the following. Do you perceive the universe as a friendly place or a dangerous place? That's my own words, but that's basically what it boiled down to. If you perceive the universe as a friendly place, as a place where all your needs are met, as a place where you have support, you have friends, you have family, you have anything that you need will be provided instantly, then your world will be a friendly place, and you will find miracle after miracle after miracle, an open door after open door. But if you walk around with a belief system that the world is a dangerous place, that everything and everyone is your enemy, and that life is difficult and hard, guess what? That is exactly what you will experience. Your life is a reflection to you, a mirror of your own consciousness. And if you are seeing danger, enemies, death, worry, lack, scarcity, the end, apocalyptic, disaster, if that is what you believe and subscribe to, then that is what your world will reflect to you. But if you believe that you are safe, abundant, and the universe is a friendly place, it is there for you to experience your own creative ability, and anything and everything can be made manifest if it's for your highest good, then that is exactly what you will meet. Because the world, again, is but a mirror of your own mind. So, with that said, we welcome the snake as a spirit guide animal through this year of the snake. And we ask the snake to teach us how to apply wisdom and strategy and groundedness to this year. And we also thank the snake for teaching us how to shed our own skin and literally to sail out of that old limiting ideas and leave it behind like a shell and sail forth into the future with the understanding and the knowledge that we are divine beings created in the image of the divine, of the universe, and everything that we need is already available to us. So now I'm going to encourage you to sign your painting. I do believe that signing your painting gives you that final ownership. You own everything that you created on this canvas. It's your brush marks. It is your creation story. So I'm going to use Magenta. I encourage my clients that come for art with me when they sign their paintings. A tip I can give you is to maybe use a color that's already in the painting. It's really up to you. It's a personal style. So I'm going to use my Magenta here. And what side shall I sign? Let's do it this side. And I'm just going to very beautifully add my name as a signature. Now I've had to learn to love my signature. I like the way I sign it, but sometimes I feel it's so large. I wish I could have this dramatic signature that I see some artists have. But then I remember this is my artwork. And this is how I sign my artwork. And I always add this little spiral underneath it. It reminds me that I am a child of the universe. And life works in beautiful spirals, just like the universe. Sometimes I have to go over it twice, so I might have to do that when it's dry. Right, people, we've come to the conclusion of our spirit animal, the snake, acrylic painting tutorial, and I really hope that you guys have learned something from me. You've learned some technique, some method, and that you are proud of what you have created. And I really pray that you have had some aha moments and you can see how amazing this creative journey at the canvas can be. So another thing that I'm going to be doing on Sunday is I will be announcing our next theme or spirit animal that we will be diving into after the snake. And we are going to go, this is the only hint I'm going to give you, we're going to go from space into water. That's all I'm going to say. You'll have to wait till Sunday to find out what we will be painting next. And I will share with you guys then. Please, 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 I ask you very nicely, take a photograph of your progress art, of your snake, and share it with us in the Creative Heart group on Facebook or on Patreon. And I would love to see what you guys have done with your painting, and just to hear your thoughts and feedback that you can give me as far as your experience during this journey. It's always encouraging for me to continue with this work, and you have no idea what it will mean for me. So please do that, and I will see you guys on Sunday evening live on YouTube, and we'll share the final painting. I think the only thing that I'm going to do when it's dry, I might just do this signature again, and then I'm going to seal it with my acrylic medium. Now it's not here with me, but my acrylic medium is what I use at the end to just paint over everything. And what that will do, it's just going to bring everything together in a layer and unify everything. It will make the colors look a little bit more vibrant and cohesive. And I'll show you guys on Sunday evening when I reveal the completed painting to the world. And I'll see you guys then. So stay creative, and I'll see you in the next class. So bye bye for now.